Hey guys, it's Brendan Foreman, and we are here for a special live 270 multiplayer to celebrate what's going on in the state of Georgia. Of course, we have the very important runoffs going on right now. This is a brand new setup for me, so I would appreciate some feedback in the comments to make sure that you guys can hear me and see my screen. We are going to have four players. I'll be playing as Nancy Pelosi and not playing, but all four Georgia candidates will be in play. So we will have Chad Harris play as Loeffler. We are going to have Ossoff is going to be played by Chase Moss. Let's see who we got. Andrew Miller, who I believe is going to be playing as the other Democratic candidate. As Warnock, and then the other Republican is played by Matthew Esqueda. Waiting on Matthew to join in, and then we'll get started. Okay, so the game has started. I'm going to go and hit in turn. So in this four-player multiplayer, this is a pretty good setup because we're going to have two Republicans and two Democrats. And so there could be a battle for national groups. There could be a battle for some key bonuses like high-tech, African-American. Let's take a look at each of the candidates. So starting off, we have John Ossoff, who does have a 20% African-American bonus, 10% Latino, 20% high tech, 20% town and gown, and then does have 25% penalties in oil and gas and ag, and only a 10% penalty in both the Old South and swing states. Looks like the previously mentioned John is going to start off in New York. David Perdue, he does have 30% big conservative, 25% evangelical, and 20% gun lobby. He's not a very great candidate. He just has the swing state Old South ag and oil and gas with 25% oil and gas and agriculture. Does have negatives in high tech, town and gown, African Americans, a big 25%, and Latinos. So definitely not the best candidate. Warnock has a 40% African American bonus, 10% high tech, 10% manufacturing and exports. Does have a negative 10% swing, which is not great. 15% Old South, so maybe not the best AA Old South combination. But, I could roll with that if that was my candidate. And then lastly, I think one of the best candidates of the four, Kelly Loeffler, she only has a 35% African American penalty. And she is going for that big conservative. So she will have that national group bonus for the rest of the game. Got some pressure in New York. John going for that town and gown bonus. And so at the end of turn 2, we have $60,000 for Kelly Loeffler as the only bonus. So again, we've got John Ossoff, who it does have town and gown. We have David Perdue going for swing states. He does have a 10% swing state bonus, having it with the kind of the clash and dash path. We've got Warnock putting some serious pressure on in New York, 1 pip, but could go and steal New York guaranteed this turn. And then we have Kelly, who, again, is going for just the big conservative, and she has already opened up in evangelicals. So looks like that's going to be what Kelly does, maybe save and do the savior's tactics. Clash in Arizona from both of the Democratic candidates. There's the evangelical bonus for Kelly Loeffler. Okay, so Ossoff is pivoting, maybe not spending his money in New York, maybe conceding it, but expanding his town and gown. And now here comes Warnock attacking in Utah. So that'll be evangelical and the swing state bonus this turn. Who would you guys want to be right now? I know that the Democrats are fighting each other and the Republicans are maybe playing a little bit more nice, but that's just right now. The swing states will sure to be filled up with all candidates fairly soon. And Kelly's going to have to pick her spots. Now, she does have an open California and an open Texas. If she does want to pursue one of those, she'd be best served to maybe go out of Texas. Although she does have a 10% high-tech bonus. Very interesting. UMAD, is Joe Biden free? In the comments, he is not free right now, but that could change as 270 continues to do new updates. They're going to try to update the electoral map as we move into 2021. They're also looking at adding new candidates all the time with new candidate Mondays. New game modes, new maps are potentially a thing, as is an in-game virtual currency. Pretty good opening for Chase Moss, he says. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, turn number 5. Let's reset here. So we have Ossoff, who again is being sniped in New York, can't do anything about it this turn. We have Perdue expanding his reach. He now is in North Carolina, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. He could lose even a New Mexico and Florida and still get the swing state bonus. So liking what Perdue is doing right now. Could make a move toward manufacturing with Illinois and a Michigan. Or Warnock, who is heavily spending right now. He does have the bonus, so that is helping him. But really, if you look at Kelly Loeffler, she's going for the Old South bonus, which is super interesting because, North Carolina, Virginia are already occupied, and New York's already occupied, and Florida's already occupied. So if she's going to expand to get that AA bonus, maybe she's going to have some pressure, but maybe she doesn't want to clash in California or Texas. And so maybe she's just picking her spot. She does have 682,000. Of course, Perdue has 745. So a double clash in Texas would be pretty damaging and give the Democrats right back in the game. Here we go. Turn number 5. Arizona is locked in by Warnock. Georgia, what this game is all about, the Georgia runoff candidates, goes to Kelly Loeffler. Facing pressure in New Mexico. Here's Texas. Oh, no clash, but we have Ossoff Doing 1 pip, we have Purdue going 2 pips. Ossoff is in a pretty bad spot, if you ask me. That's the Old South bonus and $60,000 per turn. 2 state groups to 1. We have Town and Gown for Warnock, and we have Loeffler in the Old South, and we have Purdue having swing state. So I misspoke. It's not 2 to 1. It's 1 to 1 to 1 to 0. And of course, I am Nancy Pelosi, not playing. Chase Moss coming in with some hot takes. I said Ossoff is in a pretty bad spot, and then he wins the game. He's referring to a multiplayer last night in the 270 Coliseum hosted by Tyler DeMora, where he was Joe Biden. Let's see if history can repeat itself. But yeah, he's going to have to come up with something creative here. Here we go. Turn number 6. We have some spinning in Alabama and Alaska, Arkansas, a clash by Ossoff and Loeffler. Warnock gets California with 2 pips. Very good turn. He spent his entire $400,000 budget in California, and Purdue does get New Mexico and finishes off. He's looking to push here for the oil and gas bonus. Will he be successful? He does get West Virginia. That should do it, folks. So to recap that turn, oil and gas and the 93.5 thousand does go to Purdue, as does agriculture at 62.5. And to top it off, the 75,000 base manufacturing bonus. That's 4 big bonuses for Purdue. Playing out of Texas can be so beneficial if it's played right. And he's in states like Pennsylvania already. Let's see. He's facing very minimal pressure, but now facing pressure in North Carolina and Virginia, as well as some of the oil states. So some of the oil states are being pressured by the other Republican candidate, Kelly Loeffler. Ossoff is all over the place, but he needs to save some money, pick his spots, maybe even spread out into states like Montana. Just get some EVs under his belt. He's at 37. Loeffler is the next low at 67, but does have that national group money and the Old South bonus. Chase says, good thing he'll make it to at least the second ballot, which is true. North Carolina is sealed by Purdue. And Warnock will have Latino at the end of next turn as he gets into Nevada and to New Jersey uncontested, along with New York and California. That equals the Latino bonus. Loeffler closing off some of those oil and gas states of Wyoming and others. So that's the high-tech bonus for Warnock. Resetting at turn 8, Ossoff, Purdue, Warnock, and Loeffler. Loeffler is going to have to make a play on California potentially to steal oil and gas / other bonuses. But I think Purdue is in a great spot here. Not facing real pressure in Texas and already has a stranglehold on swing and manufacturing. Right now, has ag also on lockdown without facing pressure in Florida or Wisconsin. I think this is Purdue's game to lose. Warnock goes ahead and defends California by a pip. Purdue locks Colorado. And Illinois, we do have a clash between Ossoff and Warnock. Ossoff going for some EVs in Kansas, Indiana, and Kentucky. Have a clash in Louisiana, Loeffler and Purdue, and a clash in Maryland. So good defense this turn by Loeffler. Ossoff gets into Michigan, Montana, North Dakota, but it's closed by Loeffler. Nebraska. And then Nevada and New Jersey goes to Warnock, which will give him the Latino bonus. Purdue does not close off Virginia, but it takes it to the 7th pip, which is good. And West Virginia is stolen. Does that possibly take away the oil and gas bonus? It does. So Latino goes to Warnock, and oil and gas is taken away from Purdue, but it does not go to Loeffler because Loeffler doesn't have Texas or California. So at the beginning of turn 9, money-wise, we have Loeffler at $939,000, followed by Warnock, Purdue at $627,000, and Ossoff at $254,000. Just the 2 national groups for Loeffler, and then looking at the state groups, we have Latino and high tech for Warnock. We have Purdue having the manufacturing and the ag and the swing states. Loeffler just has the Old South, and Warnock also has town and gown. Looking at the EVs that are locked in, we have 11 in Arizona, 6 to 17, 26, 31, 34, 37, 39, 42, 47, 62, and counting. Warnock gets a stronghold of Illinois, which will be big for him. And we have a 10-pip clash in Louisiana by Loeffler and Purdue, and Warnock sneaks in on the first pip. Clash in Michigan. 3 people are in Michigan. Tennessee is entered by Ossoff, and Purdue enters Texas. Interesting. So there's a lock of Virginia by Purdue. And it looks like Ossoff is doing a great job to enter into some states. So as soon as we have 100 EVs locked in, we will have the first ballot, which of course will eliminate myself, Nancy Pelosi, who was, voted in for her 4th term as the majority speaker. Looks like that we still need Hawaii, and we need Delaware and Rhode Island to be entered into. Welcome in Kayla Brundage to the YouTube stream. It's always good to have people stand up for what they believe in, and if I know any libertarians, that's what they stand for. And Chase, I have voted Republican more times than not. And I do probably identify as a Republican, but I am very open-minded. For example, I probably would not have voted for Kelly Loeffler if I was in Georgia, where I might have voted for David Perdue. And it kind of goes down the morals. Any politician for me who makes a bunch of money while they're in office, like a Mitch McConnell, like a Nancy Pelosi, with the possibility of insider trading of the coronavirus, someone taking advantage of that. I'm not a big fan of that in Kelly Loeffler. But she's a good candidate in 270, surprisingly. Warnock doing a good job to enter into some states, but Ossoff steals Nevada. That might have taken away Latino, but Illinois was locked, so he will keep the Latino bonus. Low spin by Loeffler. Defense in Texas by Purdue. And Warnock takes control of Washington. That's the export bonus by Warnock. So we still have no entry yet into Hawaii. Sponge me boy, welcome to the stream. If you don't know my channel, my name is Brendan Borman. I am 37th on the all-time leaderboard where they count wins, but I am a very active player in the 270 Lounge, which you guys can join. We have 9,500 players or so that are in the lounge. I'm a commissioner that hosts community tournaments. We have probably 6 to 10 community tournaments going on all the time. I'm really excited about a tournament that I'm hosting this month on the 20th, where it's the mass candidate, where you get to play without people knowing who you are. But there was just a big steal in California. Let's get back to this game here. Michigan's locked for Warnock. And Purdue defends Texas again as Ossoff comes in and steals Washington. That takes away the export, high-tech, and Latino bonus. Pretty crippling move for Warnock. And the oil and gas bonus goes to Loeffler. So now she's got that pure cash advantage, having the evangelical and big conservative bonus on top of oil and gas and the Old South. We now have a ballot. Come on in. I'm live. Yeah, come on in. My wife just got home. She's checking out my new studio, which is our bedroom. Hello, this is Skylar. We're doing the Georgia runoff. We've got all 4 candidates, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, who are competing in a fun multiplayer. We've got Chad Harris, Andrew Miller. We have Matthew Escueda, and we have Chase Moss. Yes, so Pelosi will lose the first ballot, but that's intentional. So I will lose, but I will hit spectate mode so that I can bring you the rest of the match. So turn 12. Right now, the low person is Warnock, who does have quite a few potential EVs that he could grab. Man, Ossoff, if Warnock is the one who gets out, Ossoff would inherit New York back. That would be pretty big. Ossoff, of course, does have access to 3 of the 4 big states. One second. Yes. Yes, I have taken the dog out lately. I was a good boy. Taking a look where each candidate is again. So Ossoff does have some defending to do. Here we go. Defense in Florida. Georgia flips, takes away big EVs from Loeffler. Defense in Maryland, and 10 EVs taken away from Ossoff. Loeffler does lock Mississippi. Missouri, Steele, Warnock. Big spin in Tennessee and Vermont. Looks like Ossoff is going to be the one who is in bad shape after Pelosi is eliminated. So, got to make sure I do this right, hit the right buttons. I'm going to hit continue. Ba-bum, ba-ba, ba-ba. 215 for Purdue. Wow, pretty good call. So I'm going to hit spectate mode. And we have 330. This is not a ballot round, but there likely will be a ballot round after this turn. Keep your eyes on Georgia. So this game started off interestingly in New York. Ossoff was kind of hedged into a bad place going for Town and Gown, and Warnock really wanted New York, so he saved, and was able to flip it. And ever since then, Ossoff has kind of been backed into a corner. Purdue started off in swing states with Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, and New Mexico, quickly expanded into the Rust Belt and then into Texas, where he was able to get agriculture and manufacturing. He did have the oil and gas bonus temporarily until Kelly Loeffler maximized her cash advantage with her evangelical and big conservative funds to take away the critical oil and gas small states. That didn't give her the bonus right away. She had to accumulate cash and steal California from Warnock. And that's where we find ourselves right now. Chase Moss thinks it's almost over in Georgia. I think, are you talking about the real election? And if so, could you give an update? Because I have not watched the news at all. I was putting down my son. I have an 11-month-old baby. And while I was rocking him to sleep, I thought, nighty night, I could be streaming 270 right now. How about a Georgia runoff? Clash in Connecticut. Low spin by Loeffler here, only 215. Idaho flips to Purdue. Thank you for stopping by, Caleb. I appreciate it. And thank you for the updates. 86% Republicans ahead, 86% of the precincts, and I would guess. The largest area left is DeKalb County, which I think is right on the outside of Fulton County, where it's a Democratic stronghold. Thank you, Chase. So that's the end of turn 13. Ossoff went for New York to no avail. And this is going to be a ballot round. Okay, and he's saying DeKalb is more blue than Fulton. Yeah, I'm not an expert by any means. I just watch election coverage the day of pretty much, but I appreciate the updates. So turn 14, it looks like that our boy Chase Moss is going to be eliminated. Good show by John Ossoff. Unfortunately, got squeezed in New York. It's going to be a 3-horse race, and someone's got to do something about David Perdue. Maybe put some pressure on in Florida, which might be long gone. Loeffler, maybe out of reach in Texas. Hello, Goblin Gaming. Welcome into the stream. Keep on doing what you do best. You inspire me to be better at 270. I appreciate it. Chase is played by John Ossoff in the stream. Chase Moss. DC flips, as does Delaware. Georgia is finally locked by Purdue. It's a big 16 EVs. And he steals Kansas, another 6, up to 225. Montana flips over to Purdue. Oregon also flips, maybe making a push this turn to get to 270. Loeffler will hold on to South Carolina. And that is a forfeit by John Ossoff. I'm not playing. I'm just streaming. I was Nancy Pelosi. Chad Harris is playing as Loeffler. And I'm trying to think who was Matthew Escueda and who was Andrew Miller. So Matthew Escueda is playing as Purdue. Who is a subscriber of the channel. I appreciate Matthew for playing me in a match on my channel at some point, and who is also an active member of the 270 Lounge. If you guys have any ideas for future videos or some content that you'd like to see on the channel, I'm doing my best to provide what you guys want to see. So, yeah. We're on turn 15. We probably have maybe 1 or 2 turns left. 235 is a commanding lead for Purdue. Yes, I did see your comment in another video, Goblin Gaming, about state chasing. But yeah, I'll talk about that for a minute or two while you're on the stream. That way you kind of feel like you're getting some personalization. So against a state chaser, it's really important to catch on that that's what they're doing, because sometimes they could just be in critical states that are important to both you and them. And if that's the case, you just really need to kind of slowly expand across. That way, if you get a bonus, like an Old South bonus, instead of just relying on the first 4 states, like if you go into Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, Virginia, don't defend a state, maybe expand into like Georgia, which is very cost effective, and maybe in Alabama or in Arkansas. That way, it doesn't matter which one of the states they steal. You can pip up in those and keep that bonus. In some cases, it's okay to lose a bonus for a turn rather than overspending. Massachusetts flips. Almost a clash in Nebraska. Good hold by Purdue. Warnock goes for the steal in Pennsylvania, but Purdue locks. And a clash in Washington. So Warnock just has that town and gown bonus, kind of struggling to stay afoot. Hawaii is still not entered into, so we will not have a ballot. So Sponge Me Boy, state chaser is a phrase for someone who very low spends and just attacks the states you are in. For example, in this game, and I would not categorize what Mr. Warnock did in New York as a state chaser, but he didn't spend any money on turn 1. And so he was able to, when he did go enter into New York, have an automatic steal against John Ossoff because he invested money in the town and gown states of Utah and Massachusetts, and that really put him in a bad spot. There are a few players in the 270 universe who are known to be state chasers, which is an acceptable strategy, but it's very annoying to play against. There's Keegan. Hey, I've got it. So Keegan is asking when the Masked Singer Group B is coming out. It is coming out tonight. I have it all recorded, but I was on baby duty, and then I had this idea, and since the Georgia runoffs, is a kind of a one-time thing, I figured I could wait a few hours on putting out the Group B. So I am hosting a 270 masked tournament where players are playing under a secret identity, but I'm unveiling the bracket with some special clues. So, and if you're a part of the 270 lounge and you're not a part of the tournament, you are eligible to win a $25 gift card. Whoever can guess the most players based off of the clues. So there's some spinning in Hawaii. We will have a ballot on the next turn. And while I'm thinking about it, if you guys have not checked out my Ronald Reagan 1980 re-election video I put out today, that guy did a little bit of state chasing, kind of money saving. We had a big clash in California, and how I kind of pivoted to other bonuses. That might help you out if you're kind of struggling to go up against someone who's state chasing. There's the high tech bonus, and this is probably the last turn. Sponge Me Boy asked if that has anyone played as Howie Hawkins. I actually won a tournament one time playing as Howie Hawkins. It was a recreation of the 2020 election where there was Joe Jorgensen versus Howie Hawkins kind of a field, and then there was a Joe Biden versus a Donald Trump bracket, and I won the tournament playing as Howie Hawkins, which was a pretty big accomplishment, considering that Howie Hawkins isn't the best candidate inside the game. And Chase, if you have some ideas to, what you want to talk to me about with the masked candidate, you can definitely send me a message on Facebook. And then if that doesn't work, I know we've had some issues. I can also drop my email in the comment box if that makes it easier. Yes, Kanye was in there also, that same tournament. Thanks, Connor Brown. I really appreciate it, my man. So turn 17's coming down. Look at that pink map. I do wish 270 comes out with an update to really change the color dynamics. Obviously, the blue and the pink are a good kind of clash, but having light pink versus maroon or whatever you call those colors can be definitely frustrating. He may not be able to win on this first ballot, but he definitely will win. Thank you, Sponge Me Boy. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, you're not pushy. I appreciate it. Someone's got to keep me motivated. So I'm a commissioner of 8 fantasy football leagues, and that keeps me super busy. 270, I stream a lot. I play a lot. I have a full-time job. So I definitely need to do a better job of managing my time. But no, you'll never come across as pushy. So if I say something or I'm going to do something, hold me to it. Loeffler gets into New York. So we are down to the 2 Republican candidates. And just to clarify, Chase, do you think Loeffler has a chance in this 270 game, or do you think she has a chance to win the actual election going on right now? Purdue is already over 270. Has yet to lock a few states, but there's also a few open states that Purdue also has access to, and they're pretty similar in money. I think not being in states like Arizona and Missouri, Tennessee, Michigan might hurt him, but he can put pressure on right now and only has to flip maybe one of those. Loeffler's in Texas, but can't do anything about it. Florida is pretty well long gone. He says both, but I'd rather she win the game than the election. I mean, you're honest. I think she's going to have a hard time winning this 270 game. I think that Purdue by Matthew Escueda has a great chance of winning this game. Purdue and Loeffler have no chance at winning the remaining counties, says Chase. I can't speak to that. I haven't seen it, but it sounds like that the more urban areas are reporting last, which would be good news for the Democrats. Who am I rooting for in the actual Georgia runoffs? I mean, I am, like I said, I identify more as Republican. So I do think having the Senate would be critical for both sides. I personally am not as worried about Joe Biden as a lot of Republicans are. I did really support Donald Trump in 2016 because of his policies. It was harder for me to vote for him in 2020, but I did. I'm more of a standard Republican, but I don't know. I did mention earlier in the stream that I'm not a big Kelly Loeffler fan in the sense of I don't like people who capitalize on their office making money. That can be, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, but Kelly Loeffler, I don't know, just my thoughts. No ballot, and Kelly needs to get in some more states for sure. Although this is just about over. I wonder how many EVs Purdue has locked in. If he could lock in exactly enough to get 270, he could even lose a few states and it wouldn't matter. There's so much pink and 2 shades of pink. I'm not going to go back through and count that. But I appreciate both these players sticking it out through turn 19. If the Republicans win the Senate majority, the Dems have their hands tied as far as policies they can push, according to Goblin Gaming. Chase says if Purdue wins, it won't be that bad because he's kind of part of the old type of Republican, the McCains, the Reagans of the world. But Chase is greedy. He'd rather have the trifecta, according to him. Chase, I would consider myself to be a classic, respectable Republican. I know that you haven't been in the lounge very often or very, very long, but I'm one of the few outspoken Republicans, but I'm very much wouldn't call myself a pushover, but I'm more of a meet in the middle. Like I'd rather work together. And there are some things that I'll never see eye to eye with some of my friends who are liberal, but I have a lot of Democratic friends. And I think the more perspectives in life we can have, the better. I'm very guilty of, growing up one way and feeling that, having parents that were very religious, very conservative. And I do share a lot of those same ideologies, but you really have to learn for yourself what you believe in. Got Hayden Elias, can't read, getting old, in the stream from North Carolina. Hello, Hayden. So we did not have any action in New York except for Kelly Loeffler, 1 pip defense. Yeah, Chase is saying that almost all of his friends are Republican because he's from one of the most conservative states. Is that West Virginia, Chase? So Kelly needs to flip 270. Let's see, 70 minus 13, 57 EVs. Didn't get into Tennessee. That was a mistake. Did get in Michigan. Did get in Wisconsin. I think I would have gotten into every single state there just to put a little bit of pressure on, but that's okay. I appreciate all 5 of us who are on the stream bringing this home. This is the ballot rounds. Big defense in Illinois. Michigan, oh man, heartbreaker. We got a clash on the 6th pip and a clash in Missouri. That'll do it. Oregon does flip by 1. Purdue takes back Utah, and he holds on to Wisconsin. If you give him Missouri and Michigan, that still is like 26. That'd be 240 instead of 214 for Loeffler. But good game. Congratulations to David Perdue, who wins the 2020 Georgia Runoff live stream on 270 Videos YouTube. Thank you to all 4 players. Just giving a quick shout out. So Chase Moss, I appreciate you tuning in the stream and staying on, who did play as John Ossoff. It's Andrew. I've been calling it Matthew this entire time. Wow, I cannot pay attention. Andrew Miller did win the 270 stream. I apologize, Andrew. I was going off what Chase was saying that Matthew was Purdue, but Andrew. Awesome. Well, thank you guys from my bedroom to your room. Thank you for watching this 270 stream. If you have not hit that subscribe button, we are a small channel, but we are growing. I appreciate all of the support, and I hope to bring you some exciting 270 content in the days ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot. And until next time, I will catch you guys in the next 270 video.